Evaluating Technology Used in the Classroom by Christian Way. In order to accurately evaluate your skills with the technology in your classroom, the first question you have to be honest with yourself about is, how are you using your technology in your class? Like many times when you evaluate yourself, you may be asking yourself, are you using your technology in the correct manner, or are you using it wrong? Whether you're using the technology right or wrong, in my opinion, is a trick question. There's really not a right way or wrong way to use the technology in your class. There's obviously going to be different levels of using technology, but there is not a right way and wrong way to use the technology. This is why I believe there is a difference between using technology wrong and not using it to its fullest potential. What we need is an open mindset when we start looking at technology, because quite often we sit back as educators and as people in general and say, hey, we need new technology. We need that new technology to become more advanced and move forward with our thought process, or whatever we're using the technology to make, however we're using it to make life easier. And what we need to realize is that it's not always about the technology, it's about the task. There's a lot of times where you can use older technology or technology that already exists to further a task. Like in our situation in the classroom, we can further the students' learning by digging deeper into the technology that already exists and take that old technology to a new level. This does not always require new technology. To understand this, you need to understand how to evaluate your technology use. SAMR, S-A-M-R, is the standard used to measure the effectiveness of your use of technology in the classroom. SAMR stands for substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition. To represent the different levels of the SAMR model, we are going to use the smartboards, being that smartboards in recent years have evolved into a mainstay in a lot of classrooms throughout the United States and are currently just starting to be phased out due to the cost effectiveness of keeping up the smartboards over these years and the possibility of new technology taking us even further. But the smartboards is a great example because they fit all the different levels of this SAMR model. It's just that many different teachers never dived in as deep as they could have, making maximum use of that technology that they had in the classroom. The S out of the SAMR model stands for substitution. This is when technology acts as a direct tool substitution with no functional changes. Our representation for this using the smartboard model is when teachers first got their smartboards, there was many teachers that used the smart notebook software for their direct instruction, and that was the only use of their smartboard, was to directly instruct their students. This was a perfect replacement of a whiteboard, overhead, and chalkboards. Really, the only functional piece to that would be they didn't leave with overhead marker all over their hands or chalk all over their pants. The A level of the SAMR model is augmentation. This is when technology acts as a direct tool substitution with some functional changes. Going back to our smartboard model, this would be where a teacher uses the smart notebook software to write notes. Then they're able to save those notes as a PDF file for student use or future reference. For example, if a student is on an IEP plan and they need the notes printed up for them, the smart notebook software allowed us that functional change that is needed to reach the augmentation level. The M level of SAMR model stands for modification. This is when technology allows for significant task redesign. Our smartboard example for this would be after a year or so of having the smartboards, at least in my high school, we were introduced to the Centio clickers, which was a great formative assessment that we could use to understand where the students were in their progression of the concepts. It was such a valuable tool that we really had no way of doing on the spot where we could see instant results of our student knowledge as the class was being taught. Before, we would have to give the paper, we'd have to collect the papers, we'd have to grade them, evaluate them, and then get them back. This gave us that instant feedback that we had been desiring for so long. The R level of the SAMR model, our final level, is redefinition. This is where technology allows for the creation of new tasks previously inconceivable. This is where as our math department developed with the SAMR model, we were able to create videos of our lessons and then post those lessons online. And when students missed days of school for whatever reason, we could always point them the direction of our website and have them watch the video of the lesson that the students missed. Or if the student required more instruction or they missed something as the class progressed and parents were trying to help out their students, the parents could also access those videos online and be able to help their students through it, being that the parents probably haven't seen the content for a number of years, but that quick video refresher, a lot of parents are pretty sharp and they're able to pick up on the concepts, be able to help their students through their sticking points while they're at home. Now we're just going to take a little break here of my direct instruction on this topic of the SAMR model, and we're going to do a little matching activity. I'm going to have everyone log on to student.desmos.com, and you got a class code here. You're going to enter that class code in, and you're going to do a little matching activity on Desmos. So what I have here is I have both views of the Desmos activity. On the left, I have the teacher view right here where I can see my student John Doe and that they have nothing matched up. On the right, I have John Doe's screen and what he's looking at. Now, as a teacher, I would have this left screen up on the smart board or up on whatever board I'm projecting on so the students can see their progress as they go along. The students would have their individual devices and they would be able to sort through the activity here. So you can see here we have substitution, augmentation, and we can move these around, modification, and redefinition. And your goal is to put all the rest of these in the correct category. So let's see, the tech acts as a direct substitution with additional improvements. I would say that should be augmentation. So we pop that on there to augmentation. I can look over here on the left on the board and see that I got it right. It shows up in green. The tech acts as a direct substitution with no functional changes. I'm going to put that in a wrong category right now. I'm going to put it in a modification just to show this. And you can see here that I got one wrong. So I know right away that I got that one wrong. I can disconnect it. I'm going to try to stay organized here. That should end up in substitution. If I don't like the order, I can rearrange them a little bit, and I can see there on the left that I am getting them correct. So let's go through and match these up. Okay, so you can see here that we had, I went through and I rearranged them. I have everything green on the left-hand side, and So as a student, I was able to make mistakes, fix those mistakes, move them around a little bit, figure it out so that I have everything in the correct spots, and I can tell what the teacher was looking for the substitution, augmentation, modification, and redefinition categories. As we finish up this staff development session, what I would like you to do is get together with your PLC and come up with at least 3 ways to improve your technology use in the classroom and enter them on the Google document that I have shared with you. Everyone, no matter where they're at in the technology spectrum of using that technology in their classroom, has room for improvement or possibly new ideas that have been sparked. It is important that we share those ideas with each other. I will make this Google document public for all our teachers to be able to view and manipulate and hopefully keep adding to. And then we have a list of resources or ideas of different ways we can use that technology to engage our students learning at a much deeper level than probably where we currently are. Thank you for your time. Here's a couple of the references that I've used for this presentation. If you have any other questions, please let me know. Thank you. Have a good day.